Hey Nathan, it's Monday, September 9th. It's time for Misconception Monday. The theme of this installment is law misconceptions. To start off, we'll talk about a misconception that I see referenced all the time in TV and movies. Many people claim that undercover cops must tell you that they're a cop if you ask them. This is not true. I mean, what would the point be for a cop to go undercover if they had to fess up just if somebody asked them if they were a cop? And on top of that, it would be incredibly dangerous for an undercover officer if they're in a situation where they could get hurt or maybe even killed if the criminal party found out that they were a cop. The confusion lies in the misunderstanding of the law of entrapment. This law actually protects civilians against officers, getting them to break the law when they otherwise wouldn't have. For example, if a cop is standing on a street corner offering sexual favors for money, it is not entrapment if someone came up and tried to solicit sex from them. If the only reason why someone would stop committing an illegal act is because they are suddenly aware that a cop is present, this is not entrapment. They had a predisposition to commit the crime. However, if an officer persuaded someone to break the law when they otherwise wouldn't have, then entrapment could be argued in court. So, say an officer is posing as a drug dealer and offers to sell drugs to a random passerby. The person refuses, but the cop keeps persisting, maybe offering a discount or a free sample, and so then the person finally agrees. That is entrapment. There are three factors present in this scenario. First of all, it was the cop's idea. Secondly, there was no reason for the cop to think that this person would have committed the crime beforehand. And third, they used strong coercion to get the person to commit the crime. There's a good chance that this case would be dropped in court. Another misconception is that the justice system is fair. While we would hope that every lawyer and judge wants courtroom outcomes to be fair in their hearts, that's just not exactly how our justice system works. Fairness is somewhat subjective, and the definition can differ by person. First of all, not all lawyers are created equal. A lawyer hired by a prominent insurance company is probably going to fare better in court than a lawyer appointed to someone who can't afford their own. So, unfortunately, in many cases, the ruling relies on the skill of the lawyer, not on the guilt or innocence of the defendant. Also, the guilt or innocence isn't always determined by a jury of one's peers, but often in lesser cases it's just determined by the judge. And speaking of peers, keep in mind that these are people who live in the surrounding area. The process of choosing a jury is rigorous, of course, to ensure impartiality, but if you live in an area where a lot of people kind of think the same way, their viewpoint can definitely sway their decisions. So, I guess just make sure you live amongst generally intelligent and analytical people. The last misconception I want to debunk is an important one, I think, and that is that you hardly ever have to wait 24 hours before filing a missing persons report. Especially if there is evidence of violence or at least something fishy, go ahead and contact the police. In cases like this, time is of the essence. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and I hope you learned a little something. Do you guys know anything about the law that is often misunderstood? Leave a comment about it in the doobly-doo, and Nathan, we'll see you on Wednesday.